So I saw a pretty interesting take online, and I thought we'd go ahead and talk about it on this channel. So just to pretty much sum it all up, a lot of people think that Paddy Pimblett is a fraud. Some people think that Paddy Pimblett is a good actor in the lightweight division because of the opponents that he's faced so far. I mean, to break it down as simply as possible, getting a win over Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green, and Michael Chandler. Apparently, there's a good argument right now as to why those wins really don't matter. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it, but before we do, all I ask is that you guys subscribe to this channel, and let me know down in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Paddy Pimblett is a fraud in the lightweight division? Let's go ahead and talk about it right now. So, of course, let's go ahead and talk about Paddy Pimblett's UFC record so far. He has a win over, Luigi Verdramini, Katsula Vargas, Jordan Levitt, Jared Gordon, Tony Ferguson, King Green, Bobby Green, and Michael Chandler. I think that Michael Chandler is his best win so far. A lot of people seem to believe that the wins that he has so far in the UFC don't weigh all that much. And I think that there is some truth to it. Whenever he fought Tony Ferguson, which was the first fight that gave Paddy Pimblett a lot of hype in the UFC, Tony Ferguson was in a losing skid, a significant losing skid. I think he went like six losses in a row before he fought Paddy Pimblett. Let's go ahead and count them. One, two, three, four, five, six straight losses before he fought Paddy Pimblett. And yeah, that was really tough to watch. Of course, he wasn't fighting the version of Tony that we all knew, that we all know and grew up watching, El Cucuy. He fought like a significant cut version of Tony Ferguson, a has-been version of Tony Ferguson, and there is some truth to that the win over Tony Ferguson really what doesn't weigh too much in my honest opinion. Um his next win against someone that was ranked in the lightweight division was against Bobby Green. And Bobby Green has, had a lot of inconsistencies in his career. Prior to fighting Paddy Pimblett, he beat Jim Miller, but I mean, it was like what 40-something-year-old Jim Miller. He loses to Jalen Turner, no surprise there. He somehow beats Grant Dawson, and he gets a win over Tony Ferguson, which isn't really, and a big whoop. He gets a draw over Jared Gordon, loses to Drew Dober, loses to Islam Makhachev. I mean, in my honest opinion, I really don't think that King Green has been the most consistent fighter throughout his career, throughout the lightweight division at all. So yeah, there is a little bit of a conversation to be said right now on whether or not the competition that Paddy Pimblett is facing right now is really the pinnacle of the lightweight division. Let's go ahead and look at Michael Chandler because I think that this solidifies the entire take. So Michael Chandler comes into the UFC, beats Dan Hooker 4 years ago, loses Charles Oliveira, loses Justin Gaethje, gets a win over Tony Ferguson. But let's go ahead and look at this win. Tony Ferguson, when he lost to Michael Chandler, was in a 4 fight losing skid. Michael Chandler beats a has-been version of Tony Ferguson, loses to Dustin Poirier, gets dominated by Charles Oliveira, and then obviously whenever he fought Paddy Pimblett, gets freaking annihilated as well. I mean, Michael Chandler, in my honest opinion, is nowhere near being the type of fighter that he claims to be, being like the top tier in the lightweight division, and obviously getting a win over someone like that, in my opinion, just doesn't weigh all that heavy. So yeah, there is some truth to Paddy Pimblett not fighting, the best at the the best that the light division has to offer. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that Paddy Pimblett is like a bad actor or that he's a joke of the division or if he's a fraud. I really do think that Paddy Pimblett, dominating everybody, in front of him so far proves that Paddy Pimblett is a good fighter. But is he top 5, top 10 type fighter? I mean, in my honest opinion, those questions have still yet to be answered. I mean, let's go ahead and look at the lightweight division right now. If we look at the division right now, Paddy Pimblett is sitting at number 8. So obviously he's going to try to get some fighters in front of him. And I think there's some pretty interesting matchups, good matchups for Paddy Pimblett. So he could get a good win over a really good lightweight so that everybody could just stop saying that Paddy Pimblett is like a fraud in the lightweight division. I think getting a win over someone like Dan Hooker would be good. Getting a win over someone like Justin Gaethje would be good as well. And I think that those are all, really, really good fights for Paddy Pimblett. And in my opinion, he's probably like 2 fights away, maybe 1 fight away from fighting for the title. I think if he does fight someone like Justin Gaethje and gets a win over him, he'll probably be fighting for the title next. But I don't think that Paddy Pimblett is a so-called fraud. I don't think that he is like a bad actor in the lightweight division. I just think that he needs like just that one good win in his career to pretty much just solidify that he is, who he says he is, that being a good lightweight in the lightweight division. But yeah, I mean, there is some truth to that take that some wins that Paddy Pimblett does have right now in his career, like a win over Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green and Michael Chandler, all guys that have not been super consistent lately, don't really hold the most weight right now. And I think getting a win over, some of the guys that have proven themselves in the recent past, could be pretty beneficial for Paddy Pimblett, and it would do wonders for his careers. It would pretty much shut everybody up in terms of saying that Paddy Pimblett just isn't, one of the elites in the lightweight division. But that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to go ahead and make this video talking about this tape because I think that it is pretty interesting that people are catching on to this, that Paddy Pimblett doesn't have, great wins against really, really good fighters yet. Yeah, I will say that because he did fight a has-been version of Tony Ferguson, and he did fight an inconsistent fighter like King Green that has a limited skill set, and Michael Chandler, which is a 38-year-old Michael Chandler who, previously to fighting Paddy Pimblett, got dominated by Charles Oliveira, which I would just like to point out that he did sit out for like almost 2 years, without having not one UFC MMA match. I mean, let's just go ahead and be honest about that. But I do think that Paddy Pimblett is a good fighter. I think that he does possess a good skill set. I don't think that he's the most elite striker out there, in my honest opinion, but I do think that he is decent on the feet. I do think that he's good at grappling and good at wrestling. We saw it against Michael Chandler. I mean, I'm not saying that Michael Chandler is the best grappler out there, but to control a fighter, a strong guy like Michael Chandler, I mean, let's be honest, Michael Chandler is a strong, big dude. To control him on the ground and beat him like we saw Paddy Pimblett do is not easy. And I will give him, some really, really good points on that. But there is some truth to the idea, that Paddy Pimblett right now just hasn't proven himself yet against one of the greats because he doesn't have that one win against one of the top, lightweights. But I think that that will change very, very soon. I think that Paddy Pimblett, fighting someone like Dan Hooker or fighting someone like Justin Gaethje and getting a win would definitely do great things for his career. And I just wanted to go ahead and make this video very, very quickly because this was a very interesting take that I saw on the internet. And apparently, Colby Covington was the first person to pretty much call out Paddy Pimblett on that, which is a very interesting take, I would say. And there's a lot of fans that actually did some digging, and there is some takes going on right now in the MMA world. And I just figured let's go ahead and talk about it. But I cannot wait to read what you guys have to say about this down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. As always, it's a pleasure. Peace out and have a good one.